Welcome back. Now it's time to go straight to the Parc Lescure Stadium in Bordeaux, where Aston Villa begin their European campaign. Your commentators are Paul Elliott and first Gary Bloom.
Aston Villa's European adventure ended abruptly a year ago at the hands of the Swedish part-timers of Helsingborg. Villa are determined not to make the same mistake again and become only the fourth English team knocked out of this competition by French opposition. Villa keep the 5-3-2 formation, which has seen a turnaround in their fortunes of late. So this is a side which won handsomely at the weekend at Barnsley. Villa's European experience comes in internationals Steve Staunton and Gareth Southgate, who've won 90 caps between them, and Stan Collymore, who's played for Liverpool in both the UEFA Cup and Cup Winners' Cup in the last two seasons. Bordeaux's best-known player is their captain, Jean-Pierre Papin, who's scored more goals in European football than any other. 38 in total. In his time with Marseille, Milan and Bayern Munich, he's scored consistently throughout his career and, surprise, surprise, scored a 90th minute penalty here on Friday to win a league game against Le Havre. Well, former Villa centre-half Paul Elliott is my co-commentator tonight.
Thanks, Gary. Good evening, everyone. Papin is clearly a vital component in Bordeaux's side, and together with the blonde figure of Laslandes, are capable of creating problems to Villa's rearguard. Great responsibility certainly is on the back three of Ehiogu, Southgate and Staunton.
I'd certainly agree with that. And it's Bordeaux about to get this UEFA Cup tie underway. Laslandes standing over the ball with his strike partner, Jean-Pierre Papin. It's an intimidating atmosphere for Aston Villa. This, the 8th time Aston Villa have appeared in this competition. They've never been past the quarter-final stage. All our officials tonight come from Belgium. Slight pause whilst live television pictures of this match are beamed around France. And we're underway at last. This is Bordeaux's first European tie since the 1996 UEFA Cup final, which they lost 5-1 on aggregate to Bayern Munich. Early touch here for Saveljić, tall central defender. Afanou making progress down that right-hand side. Aston Villa had to keep it tight early on. Laslandes was in there and just about got away by the Villa defence. That could have been a nasty moment for them. The danger hasn't passed yet. Pavon now for Bordeaux. And the danger now has passed.
Yes, very good play indeed by Afanou. The man very direct, lots of skill, got pace, and he delivered a very good cross. And I believe it was Ugo managed to get a touch in the Villa rearguard and clear the danger.
An important touch too. Here's Mark Bosnich, who missed last season's UEFA Cup campaign due to injury. Taylor missed out. It might come down to Collymore. Dwight Yorke will give chase. Here's Gralak. All the way back to the rookie goalkeeper, Ramé, who's displaced Stanley Menzo from the Bordeaux goal tonight. Pavon, Gralak, who's the pivotal point of the Bordeaux defence. Pavon once again. Very patient build-up by Bordeaux. That really is what they're famous for. They don't give possession away cheaply. Papin. Luccin. Villa have to keep it tight early on. That was a message from their manager, Brian Little. It's a dangerous ball. Nelson shepherding the ball out of play, and Nelson was being fouled there by Grenet. Free kick to Aston Villa. Grenet doing the pushing. Grenet actually appeared for Bordeaux in the UEFA Cup final a couple of seasons back. Gareth Southgate picking out Steve Staunton. Oh, it's a poor ball. Laslandes! Oh, what a gift there for Bordeaux. And Laslandes couldn't take advantage. And what were Villa doing?
Yes, a woeful error by Steve Staunton. Certainly a man with a lot of composure. He doesn't make a clean strike with the ball, and it bounces kindly to Laslandes. And really, it was a gilt-edged opportunity. A clear strike at goal, and he recklessly shoots wide. But Villa certainly have got to concentrate very much on the side of the game.
Well, we've had a shaky opening 3 minutes for Aston Villa. Yorke now to Collymore. The nonchalant flick on, which gives possession back to Bordeaux. Grenet, who fouls Nelson. Free kick to Aston Villa. Nelson, the Portuguese right-sided defender. Grenet just mistimed his challenge. Steve Staunton will take the free kick for Aston Villa. Nelson to his right. Ehiog's gone forward for Aston Villa. Draper too, waiting there. Grenet gives it away to Nelson. Draper's in there, and it's right into the hands of Ramé, the Bordeaux goalkeeper. Oh, we've seen 2 defensive mistakes now, Paul.
Yeah, very much so, but it's excellent technical play by Draper. Nicks the ball and put in a very good cross, but at least Villa have been very positive and attacking the Bordeaux defence.
And appeals for offside against Dwight Yorke. The locals weren't too impressed. The referee's assistant didn't raise his flag. Dwight Yorke, top scorer for Villa in the last couple of seasons. I think both sides are nervous as they take the stage in this UEFA Cup tie. When they got the flick on, this is Dwight Yorke. Ugo Ehiogu to Staunton. Pumps the ball wide towards right. It's a great ball, really. Yorke's in there. Oh, there was a defensive misunderstanding between Ramé and one of his central defenders, Gralak, number 3. Gralak took a divot that a novice golfer would have been proud of.
Yes, but that was a super ball, wasn't it? In actual fact, Gareth, it was a ball, the diagonal ball from defender Staunton, which is a wonderful pass, and Wright delivers the ball into that classic near post area.
Now watch for a near post corner here for Villa. They think the goalkeeper might be susceptible on crosses, and in the end, no, Villa head got to the ball, and the danger has passed. Luccin, very skillful midfield player for Bordeaux. Ehiogu keeping an eye on Laslandes. Laslandes. Musampa, the ball taken off him then. Some ease. Afanou to Dwight Yorke, a little bit too high for the Belgium official. Free kick to Bordeaux. Wiltord. Laslandes offside. Laslandes returning to his home region of France. Made his name with Auxerre. Played in the Champions League with Auxerre last season. Pavon with a header. Wiltord. Luccin. All the way back to Gralak. Gralak, courage to bring the ball out of defence. Kiki Musampa, the former Ajax player. Foul by Saveljić. And the referee wants a word with Gareth Southgate here. I think the message is clear.
Yes, but that actually come from Gralak. When he's heading to feet, Southgate's clearly wrestling him, but it was the break from the back by the defender, the sweep of Gralak, that really created the space.
Now, the way Gralak is lining himself up for this free kick, I think he's going to have a shot on goal. The moment he has the run-up of a West Indian pace bowler. Here he comes. It wasn't a particularly clean strike, and it wasn't a worry for the Villa defence. Slightly embarrassing. Oh, well off target. got his head to the ball. Goalkeeper not allowed the freedom to pick the ball up. He didn't enjoy that pass to him one little bit. Raper. Luccin. Wiltord calling for the ball. Pavon. Incidentally, Bordeaux tonight without the suspended Miku. A real terrific passer of the ball in their team. He's suspended. This is Grenet. Pavon. It's all possession football now for Bordeaux, and Villa have 10 players behind the ball, including Collymore. Papin! He was offside, but that was sensational skill to volley the ball at that sort of height. Yes,
and it was a wonderful flighted ball by Afanou, I believe, in midfield, and Papa's got his eye on it, hits it wide with a super impression. There's a lovely dink. I think Southgate at that point got caught on the back foot, was ball watching, and cleared the space behind him.
You're an expert on defending, Paul. Villa don't look that settled to me.
No, I mean, there's a bit of a nervous start to Villa. It's important to just keep the composure, just defend with great responsibility and concentrate, because clearly at this stage of the game, Gary, they can't afford to give the game away and start chasing it.
Pavon. Kiki Musampa. Pavon. Saveljić. Wiltord. Pavon. And here come Bordeaux once again. Draper with that important challenge. It's a great ball by Taylor, who was intended to pick out his colleague, Dwight Yorke, but slightly wayward. Laslandes. Luccin. Papin with football once again. Wiltord now for Bordeaux. Taylor claims the throw in his way. It is going to be an Aston Villa throw. Bosnich, who is told to change the colour of his goalkeeping jersey an hour before kick-off. Was meant to be a good deal darker than the yellow one he's got on tonight. Luccin told to calm down. Staunton with a free kick. Looking for Yorke. Grayson. Oh, this could be interesting for Aston Villa. Foul on Dwight Yorke by Saveljić. Enables Aston Villa to move onto the front foot now and apply some pressure on the Bordeaux defence. And now Bordeaux have 11 players behind the ball. And 8 are inside their own penalty area. Collymore shot blocked. Staunton. I think it was Taylor caught offside. Ian Taylor, who scored at the weekend at Barnsley. Gralak. Luccin. Grenet. Kiki Musampa foul. Free kick to Bordeaux. Afanou to take it. Luccin. Wiltord. Pavon's made a run ahead of him. Laslandes calling for the ball in the middle. Papin's waiting inside the box too. Wiltord. Wiltord once again. He's a tricky player. Ehiogu might be picked up by Laslandes. Away by Southgate. Good header by Gralak. And here come Bordeaux once again. It's Bordeaux asking all the questions, Paul.
As you expect, they're on home turf. Their own onus really is on them to take the play, Gary, and they're certainly doing it, and they like to pass and play, and there's lots of movement. The front two, for me, with the right service, certainly a potent strike force. And all Villa's really got to do is just concentrate, get behind the ball, and stay tight and go with runners.
Lovely turn by Grenet. He lost Nelson. Shame about the pass. He did the hard bit, didn't he?
Yes. Wonderful improvisation and individual skill. As you can see, in the last of the field, it gets quick, the interplay, and that change of pace is clearly evident in Bordeaux in these early stages of the game.
And this is Collymore, and he sets off towards goal. Look at the pace here of Stan Collymore. Collymore with a shot. It's a weak one right at Ramé. That'll just take the pressure off Aston Villa a little bit. Stan Collymore leading the attack literally on his own here.
Yes.
His only goal this season against Spurs, and able to follow up with one in France.
Yes, really well there, Collymore, and it's that kind of improvisation and that kind of ability that you're going to need. But clearly, he exposes a lack of pace in the Bordeaux rearguard.
Wiltord, Laslandes. Oh, it's not gone in. Wiltord's cross was aimed in towards Laslandes, who didn't get a touch on the ball, and then Bosnich left it.
Really, I mean, in actual fact, it was Laslandes just got in front of Ugo Ehiogu. It was a wonderful ball in that classic near post area, skidding off the surface there. And it hits the post, and really, Villa can certainly be very fortunate at this precise moment.
Laslandes, Pavon, Wiltord now for Bordeaux. Musampa, Ehiogu at the back now for Aston Villa. These are testing times. Little's team. Home fans not too impressed with Mark Draper's challenge on Saveljić, but the emphasis now is on Villa's central midfield, just to guard their defence. That's a barge by Jean-Pierre Papin. JPP, as he's known in French football. And here's this close shave for Villa.
Yes, poor marking in actual fact, because Laslandes got in front of Ehiogu, had probably 5 or 6 yards of space to play the ball in actual fact doesn't really make a firm contact.
Saveljić, one of the 3 central defenders being deployed by Bordeaux tonight. We thought we were going to play with 4 at the back. Back 3. Staunton, Ehiogu. This is Dwight Yorke. It's a tricky player. Taylor, oh, he took a heavy knock there from Luccin. Collymore, and Draper through here for Villa. Well, he just went away from goal instead of making a beeline for the unguarded net. And in the end, it results in a goal kick, Littlemore.
Yes, that would give it a lot more confidence. In actual fact, it was the final through ball by Collymore, which was the most significant. And Draper does what he does well, breaking from midfield. And unfortunately, the keeper does his job.
And there's a yellow card for Luccin for that heavy challenge on Taylor, which leaves Taylor receiving attention from the Villa physio. Be a chance to just get a drink, to be honest, but it's a rather close evening here in Bordeaux. Bright sunshine for most of the day. That was a bookable offence. I think the referee was right.
Yes, it was very late. In actual fact, it was a good advantage played by the referee, because he allowed play to continue, and then once play had broken down, he done the correct thing, apprehended and booked the player.
Just for the moment, Villa down to 10 men before Taylor is reintroduced into the game. He's on now, and this is Pavon trying to get away from Draper. And back by Grayson. Steve Staunton now. Ugo Ehiogu, former England under-21 captain. Draper, Nelson. This is good football by Villa, keeping the ball. A bit of a lesson in their own art for Bordeaux. Southgate. Saveljić with the header. This is Grayson. been playing for Leicester tonight in the Vicente Calderon Stadium against Atletico. He was part of the Leicester team which won the Coca-Cola Cup last season. Here's Collymore. Taylor's in there, away by Gralak. And that's a good couple of minutes for Aston Villa.
Yes, that's very, very good play indeed, and that will give him a lot more confidence. And in actual fact, Bordeaux actually backs off and allows Villa to play. And Draper's really at the hub of all Villa's good play and building it and passing it, because that inspires confidence. And you know, at that level, Gary, you have to keep the ball and not concede possession.
All the way back to Ramé, who hasn't really been tested as far as the Villa attack is concerned. Villa have had their spies out about this goalkeeper, and they reckon he's very, very weak on crosses, especially corners and free kicks. Staunton. Kiki Musampa trying to pick out Laslandes. Away by Ugo Ehiogu. That's terrific defending. Laslandes. Grenet. Laslandes again. Slips around Taylor, chips in towards Papin. This is Collymore. Oh, Collymore's lost the ball. Wiltord. Wiltord's through here. Great challenge in the end, I think, by Southgate. Blocking the ball from Wiltord. And Villa move the ball out of defence.
Yes, that's excellent play by Wiltord. He's certainly been Villa's...
Just a break on there involving Draper, and Bordeaux have it back. This is Musampa. Foul by Staunton, and another yellow card here. This time for Steve Staunton of Aston Villa.
I thought that was a very harsh decision, actually, Gary. Running with the ball there, as you can see, Staunton actually gets the touch. And I thought that was an error by the referee. It was an excellent tackle, and unfortunately he's been punished. But just talking about Wiltord there, I mean, he's a very, very good player. A lot of skill, and in my opinion, has been Bordeaux's most productive player.
Afanou. Pavon. Luccin. Away by Ehiogu. Saveljić. Ramé. Oh, did well to keep it in play. Afanou. Pavon. Dwight Yorke almost taking the ball off him. Not quite. This is Taylor. Oh, two-footed tackle by Taylor. Yes, quite right. I think Ian Taylor can have few complaints about that. He's on his opponent. And Villa have to defend a free kick. Yes. Position of some danger.
Clearly two-footed, and it's a bad part of the field. As we know their quality in and around the box, Gary. They've got a lot of quality from midfield, and you can't afford to give away reckless challenges in that area.
Once again, number 3, Gralak standing over the ball. I think he's something of an admirer of Roberto Carlos, another Brazilian who likes to whack them in from this sort of range. Let's see what Gralak can do. The first free kick he struck was mistimed. Gralak will try again. It's Papin instead. I thought that was going in. Well, he dismissed the expectancy there, Jean-Pierre Papin, because everyone thought that Gralak would take this.
Yes, clearly disguised. In actual fact, sends Bosnich the wrong way. As Gralak approaches the ball, Bosnich actually goes 3 or 4 yards to his left-hand side, and he bends it over the wall. He dips very, very quickly and just past the post. That's a wonderful Papin.
Grenet, tackled by Nelson. Gralak. Papin. Pavon. Grenet. Well, you'd have to say that the opening half of the first half has belonged to Bordeaux.
Yeah, very much so, as we would expect. But, you know, in these games, this game of football at this level, Gary, you can't dominate for the whole 90 minutes. Villa now starting to weather the storm, and what they're doing now, which is very pleasing with the last effort, they're making them hit strikes from 25 and 30 yards. You know, so, you know, as long as they're not playing that intricate passing that gets through them, you know, you've got to be happy to allow them to shoot from that kind of range.
Yorke. Draper now for Aston Villa. out initially by Musampa. Afanou. Gralak. Luccin. Laslandes. Pavon. Well, he said Aston Villa had to keep it tight for 20 minutes, Paul, and not concede a goal. They've done that.
Yes, and I think they will go from strength to strength. What's impressed me with Villa as well is when actually Bordeaux are in possession, Stan Cullimore actually retreats and leaves Dwight Yorke as the furthest man and just makes that midfielder far more compact, because it's clearly evident. We've seen illustrations of the individual skill of Bordeaux, and the most important thing is to get tight, mark men, and obviously force them to shoot from range and play that longer ball, which we've just seen.
Ehiogu to take this free kick for Aston Villa. Towards Dwight Yorke. White's in there, winning the ball. Yorke again. Taylor unable to keep it alive. More or less Laslandes, that matter. Remember, Villa had a disastrous start to the new Premiership season, losing their opening 4 games. Since then, they've won their next 2. And this is a real litmus test for them here in Bordeaux. I think the same could be said of Bordeaux, who've had an even start to their new campaign in the First Division in France. Papin. Oh, that's great skill to get round Grayson. Papin. Renet's popped up on the right-hand side here. Laslandes! And it's a corner. Terrific football then. They Renet to the right, and it caused Villa all sorts of problems.
Yes, and that was actually started by Jean-Pierre Papin. Piece of individual skill, gets the ball wide. The ball's actually delivered in, and I think it was actually Nelson that gets as tight as possible and makes a great contact there. Great defending in his last third to force the corner.
Papin with a corner. Raper will try to relieve some of the pressure on that Villa goal. It's a good ball as well. Well, I think we've successfully flagged up the 2 danger men for Bordeaux, Jean-Pierre Papin and Lilian Laslandes. And they have caused lots of problems for Aston Villa. That's Laslandes with a layoff. Away by Ehiogu. Picked up by Pavon. Laslandes trying to pick out Musampa with his header. Unsuccessful attempt.
One point I wanted to make actually, Gareth, if you think about Bordeaux when they've gone forward, a lot of their productive players been down Aston Villa's left-hand side. They're trying to manipulate that space between Gareth Southgate and Alan Wright, and possibly exposing his lack of height. And clearly Wiltord, you know, they've looked at Wright and says, okay, he's a bit short, but let's get the ball to Wiltord and get at him. And he's certainly doing that in very clinical fashion.
Luccin. Laslandes, oh, he had a kick there at Grayson. Talk about if looks could kill. Grayson wasn't too impressed with the challenge from Laslandes. It's Gralak who gets the ball to safety. The Brazilian very quick to spot danger by Dwight Yorke. You'd be surprised to learn that Bordeaux have one of the worst defensive records in their opening 7 games in the French Championship. They've conceded 13 goals. They look very, very tight tonight. And that's Nelson with the throw. Raper. Raper. Oh, ricocheted kindly for Luccin. Taylor. White won it back, but just gave possession back to Bordeaux. Grenet. Laslandes. Support here from Afanou. Nelson now. Good tackle. The French papers this morning were saying it's a shame this isn't a UEFA Cup quarter-final. There's certainly enough pedigree out there for that. Luccin. Saveljić. Villa could have had kind of draws, couldn't they? Wiltord. Wiltord once again. Musampa. Another lightning-quick raid by Bordeaux. Ends with Kiki Musampa going close.
Yes, and that all started again, actually, from Wiltord, getting a 1v1 situation, right, but he knocks it inside, and that was an excellent strike, wasn't it? I mean, they're super going forward, I must admit. I mean, they're a sheer delight to watch.
Villa have almost reached the half-hour mark without conceding a goal. As Wright helps the ball forward. Villa looking for a free kick here. Dwight Yorke reckons he was bundled over. You can hear the screams of time from the Villa bench. As in, take your time, there's no hurry. Villa don't need to give possession away. And that's a great ball into Dwight Yorke. Collimore's arriving inside the box. Away by Gralak. Very positive header.
That was good play by Aston Villa. I mean, that's the way when you start stretching them, when they're playing three at the back. Many thought they were going to play a 4-4-2, okay, but we're playing a three, and Gareth Southgate thinks a lovely ball into space that actually pulls the defender across, and then if obviously you get Yorke in a 1v1 position, he can certainly cause problems.
Taylor. Laslandes nicked the ball off him there. Collimore. This is Nelson. Taylor's free in midfield. This is Ehiogu. Grayson. Southgate. This will frustrate Bordeaux. They want to get the ball and attack Aston Villa, not the other way around. Stan Collimore, a boyhood Villa fan, was 11 years old when Villa won the European Cup. Nelson. That's not a great clearance by Grenet. It appeared to be a handball there. Southgate. Right. Oh, this is good football by Villa. Collimore gives possession away, and here's Kiki Musampa, and the locals get behind their team once again. Plenty of vocal encouragement for Bordeaux when they go forward. Musampa. Papin! How about that for an interception by Wright? And he's round Laslandes. Good piece of defending there by Alan Wright, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. In actual fact, it was Stan Collimore that conceded possession, but it's the way they break forward with pace, Gary, and purpose. And when they get in that last third, they've got a lot of players with good technical ability that can make things happen. And that's why it's so vital for Aston Villa to retain possession and not lose the ball in unnecessary areas.
Like here. Musampa, well, it wasn't a great ball towards Musampa, to be honest. Luccin. Wiltord. Laslandes calling for it. Draper. And now Aston Villa have become more accustomed to this match. They are playing with a more measured pace now, and that is benefiting them enormously. Musampa. Laslandes to his right, Grenet to his left. They're getting frustrated, aren't they?
Yeah. In actual fact, that was good defending by Ehiogu. What Ehiogu has actually done here is come out of defence and he's closed him down very quickly and forced him to make that ball. and he's overhit it. I mean, that's good defending, because rather than back off, and somebody with Musampa's pace and ability will run at you and make things happen, he actually forces him to make that square pass, and it ends up Villa keeping possession.
Now by Alan Wright, and a free kick to Bordeaux. There's Wiltord, who wasn't expected he would play in this match, but he has been probably Bordeaux's most useful contributor so far. This is Pavon, who was expected to play, returning from suspension, missed the game here against Le Havre on Friday. Wiltord, Papin. Jean-Pierre Papin, who really has graced most of the big European stages in his time. Wiltord, Pavon, Musampa's free. Southgate's missed it. Oh, goodness me. Heart in the mouth moment there for Mark Bosnich. No doubt about it. Gareth Southgate as well.
Yes, just took his eyes off it. Fortunately, there wasn't a runner breaking forward.
It's not impossible that Gareth Southgate could be back in this stadium next summer, playing for his country. This is one of the World Cup venues, and it's certainly rumoured England might be placed down here should they qualify. Papin fouled. Well, he wasn't fouled according to the referee. Pavon. Stéphan is the bald-headed coach of Bordeaux. Laslandes. Papin. Oh, almost fed the ball through cleverly to Musampa. And it's Taylor leading the counter thrust for Aston Villa. Just seem a bit more in control now when they have the ball. Staunton. Oh, that's a great ball out towards Raper. Right. Oh, but that cross is going to come down with snow on it.
Yeah, final ball not consistent with the build-up play. However, you know, that's Villa building confidence, which is very, very important. I mean, it was a 4 or 5 man move. And really, what's very important now, they're virtually playing the same system, Gareth, 5-3-2, 3-5-2 when playing forward. So the space really is wide, it's the width, and that's got to come from the fullbacks. And obviously Alan Wright down one side, and obviously Nelson down the other side. They've got to provide that width.
Laslandes. Taylor. Forward towards Dwight Yorke. It's a gift really for Gralak. Pavon to pick out Kiki Musampa, who was for the game. He actually played for Ajax in the Umbro Cup tournament televised by Channel 5. Wiltord now. Laslandes. Laslandes was unlucky there. The ball just wouldn't run for him, and he was unable to get a firm shot on goal.
I think it was very good defending by Steve Staunton. I mean, Wiltord again, he's running with the ball, plays that threaded through pass, and Staunton just manages to ease his bodies in the way, and Villa once again let off the hook.
Some of the pace has gone out of Bordeaux in the last 10 minutes or so. I'm sure that is delighting Brian Little and his coaching staff. They can just keep it nice and tight towards half-time. Saveljić. Wiltord. Papin. Pavon in a very good crossing position here. Well, he waited an age to cross the ball and it was eventually got to safety. There's Pavon, who missed Friday night's game here. Laslandes, such a tricky player. Pavon. 3 is Gralak. That Villa defence looking a bit more sound now, Paul, don't they?
Yeah, equally because they're working hard. I mean, I was concerned on that left-hand side where Wright is. Down now, Collymore drops in, Draper drops in, forms that little triangle to give Wright that support, and obviously Southgate pushes across as well. And they're just making it a bit more compact, Gary, and not giving them so much space on the ball. Because as they've demonstrated, when they've got time, they can go and hurt you and influence you and make things happen in the last third. But what Villa's got to do, when they break forward, they've got to get more support quicker to the front men.
Now, there could be a problem here because Bordeaux have this free kick. Saveljić, number 4, prominently forward. He's posted around about the penalty spot. Very low trajectory of the free kick. Probably more. Incredibly, French teams have a dreadful record against English ones in this competition. Only 3 teams have ever beaten English sides. Lyon against Spurs, Bastia against Newcastle, and Monaco against Newcastle last season. Musampa. Luccin. Musampa. Won back by Grayson. Southgate. One thing that Brian Little was mentioning in training this morning was that Villa had decided to revert to this 5-3-2 formation. They felt very happy and comfortable playing that after losing their opening 4 games of the season. And he said the players feel comfortable with that system, so we're going to persevere with it. We feel it is suitable for the players that we have, and it is suitable for this match tonight. And it's working.
Yes. But all managers, they look at what success they've had at the club and look at the system. And whilst it's about players, systems are important. And when you win with a system, Gary, it gives you self-belief. And clearly they've reverted back to that, as I spoke to Alan Evans this afternoon, and they've put 2 good performances in against Leeds and Barnsley, respectively, where they won comprehensively at the weekend.
I suppose a game away from home in a European competition is going to be the acid test of your defence. And at the moment, Villa just about are passing that test.
Yes, I mean, they've weathered the storm. Clearly, Bordeaux's influence in the final third, but it's 0-0. Villa are gaining more confidence, getting more time, more play, and they're passing, their moving is better. And what I'd like to do, is, as I said before, is once it gets to Yorke or Collymore, let's get Ian Taylor forward to try and support them and try and influence what I think vulnerable rearguard if it's under pressure, as we've seen with Collymore's pace in the first 15 minutes of the first half.
And this is Dwight Yorke. Collymore. Robbie Fowler for him to pick out these days. It's going to take time for Stan Collymore to fully become acclimatised to playing in a new team, even if it is a beloved team of his. Draper. And this is Steve Staunton. It's amazing to think Steve Staunton's won 71 caps now for the Republic of Ireland. Saveljić saying, well, he was me. Saveljić made the first contact. Now can Villa sneak a precious away goal just before the break? Staunton standing over the ball. Collimore's in there. So to Ugo Ehiogu. Ramé didn't like that one a little bit. Nelson. Draper. And this is Bordeaux on the counter-attack. Papin now. Taylor tries to get back. Ricochets off Southgate. Away by Nelson. And Collymore guilty of backing into his defender. Musampa spinning away from Ehiogu, picking out Wiltord. Wiltord taking on right. He's a very tricky player. Papin. Laslandes was in there, away by Ehiogu. Good defending by Ugo Ehiogu. And this is right. Mistake by Bosnich. I say rare mistake. I wonder if that one which came back off the upright was a goalkeeper's error. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and suggest he was distracted by the attempt on goal by Lilian Laslandes. Gralak winning the ball. Musampa. Papin's offside. Well, there haven't been too many stoppages throughout the first half as we approach half-time. Paul, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes?
Well, I think Brian Little can be very, very pleased indeed. No doubt Bordeaux came firing on all cylinders, played very well, created some good chances, good interplay, good 1 and 2 touch and improvisation around the box. But as the game's gone on, Villa's got into their own stride. Their passing's been better, their probing's been better. They've been working hard, closing Bordeaux, particularly in midfield, where Wiltord has enjoyed a lot of possession.
And there's an opening here for Aston Villa. Grayson. Collymore! Oh, I thought it was going to be one of more special goals then. Bordeaux have the free kick.
It's funny, because in those kind of areas, when they break in that sort of wide left, probably, if you're looking at Villa, you'd probably like him to get better quality into the box, because clearly Ramé, the keeper, very uncomfortable on crosses, and even when they've got good free kicks, particularly from Staunton's long-range pass into that channel, I'd like them to throw a few balls in and ask questions of such a suspect goalkeeper.
Papin. Wiltord, who's tormented the Villa defence throughout the opening 45 minutes. Taking on right, twisting him inside out. And delivering a great cross. Laslandes claims he was impeded. No penalty. Grenet's in there. Ehiogu stands firm. Ehiogu was a real man-mountain then. And the crowd are not impressed that Bordeaux didn't win a penalty, as Laslandes went down looking for a spot kick, and it's the last action of the first half.
Yes, but it was a ball whipped right in. Really, I mean, it's an outstanding header by Ehiogu, a good defensive header. And really, as far as I'm concerned, there was no foul there. And Villa can go in at half-time, you know, comfortable that they've given a good performance, a good solid performance after that initial 15-minute scare.
Half-time score: Bordeaux 0, Aston Villa 0.
Welcome back. We've just seen Gavin Peacock. And first of all, Graham, what did you make of that?
I thought it was an interesting sort of tactical battle, really. Bordeaux are definitely the team that are in control. I feel that if they continue to create as they have been, the pressure around Villa's box, they'll score a goal or two. But Villa are doing well. They found their feet in the sort of latter part of the first half and seem to be more sort of determined to keep the ball and build up nice and slowly, which is so important when you're playing in Europe, especially away from home.
And Gavin, what Graham means there, I think, when he says interesting tactical battle is dull European game, isn't it?
No, I think it's a real chess match out there. I mean, obviously, you're going to expect Bordeaux to have possession, and I think Villa expected that, so they defended deep. But we saw one or two instances where they did push up the field and keep the ball in the Bordeaux half, and that's what they need to do, and maybe try and get in the channels, because Bordeaux are playing three at the back. If they can get Collymore and Yorke in the channels, they might cause them a few problems.
We saw Stan have one good run, but let's look at the chances for Bordeaux, because they nearly scored early on.
Sure.
And, Laslandes hitting the post on the 14th minute. If they'd scored here, it would have been perhaps a different story at half-time.
Right, there's a terrific ball in from Wiltord, and we think Laslandes just got a touch to it there. Has hit the post, but he's looked dangerous. He makes good runs across the near post area, across defenders, causing them problems. But the ball on the wing, I think, has looked very lively for them, and where the problems could come from, I feel.
Yeah. Let's bring in our free kick specialist now, Graham Rousseau.
Don't stop putting me under pressure.
You were telling me that you love taking the free kicks for Chelsea.
If I can get on them, I love taking
If you can get the ball off the other players. Take us through this one, then. This free kick from Papin you were raving over.
Yeah, it was a superb strike. If you see Mark Bosnich is expecting the ball to go the other side, and it's just got too much whip on it, really. It's a fantastic strike. You can see it's just going away from the... That's incredible.
The skill is really to get it up and then back down again so quickly. I mean, Graham will tell you he can do it, I can't, but you get it up over the wall and then bring it down very quickly to get it under the bar, and that's a skill. I mean, he's done that very well, just off target.
Yeah. OK, so 0-0 at half-time. Let's look at the results from the other games that have taken place this evening. Atletico Madrid 2, Leicester City 1. Juninho scoring there. Leicester were ahead well into the second half in that game. Disappointing that Madrid have got a couple there. Celtic Liverpool 2. That's a good result for Liverpool. Salonika beating Arsenal by 1-0, our featured game earlier. And Rangers losing again in Strasbourg. So, good result for Liverpool there, Graham.
Yeah, good result for Liverpool. I mean, on sort of first glance, the results don't look that good for the English sides, but then you see Leicester have scored an away goal, Liverpool have scored 2 away goals, Rangers have scored an away goal, so it sort of sets the tie up for their home leg very well. Obviously, Arsenal we've spoken about a lot already, and we feel that they're capable of pulling back that deficit, but it's all set up nicely for the English sides.
Thanks for the moment, gentlemen. We'll be back with the second half after this short break. Welcome back. We're going straight back to Bordeaux for the second half of Aston Villa's UEFA Cup first-round match, where there's been no score in the first half. Your commentators are Paul Elliott and first, Gary Bloom.
Not quite over the moon, but Aston Villa are doing nicely at half-time. 0-0 against Bordeaux in the Stade Lescure. And it'll be Villa, and the cameraman decides to switch his camera back on to get the second half underway. This early chance here for Dwight Yorke, protected lightly though by the Bordeaux defence. This Bordeaux's 14th appearance in the UEFA Cup. They reached the final of this competition 2 seasons ago after qualifying from the Intertoto Cup. Most of that side, in fact nearly all of that side, has now disbanded. Very much a new set of players at the club. But the team have very, very high aspirations for this season's competition. No substitutions at half-time. Grayson getting quite a kick from Musampa. Simon Grayson making his first appearance in a European game. Luccin. Gralak, the sweeper. Rolled in towards Papin. Another back heel, Wiltord. Musampa calling for the ball. Pavon. Lovely turn by Pavon. Grenet. Once again, Villa's defence stood firm. Grenet, the only survivor of the UEFA Cup final side. Pavon, Grenet. That's a lovely... Now Grayson by Grenet. Musampa! Laslandes. Wiltord with a shot. Back in by Papin. Dwight Yorke. Oh, just a moment of uncertainty there by Villa. Bordeaux have started the second half brightly. Luccin. Afanou. My commentator Paul Elliott will describe a rather nervy start to the second half here when Bordeaux finished this attack. Luccin. Wiltord. Gralak. Can't take your eyes off the game, Paul, can you?
No, it's exhilarating stuff.
The raper. Collymore. And now we can draw breath.
Yes, that was super improvisation by Bordeaux. Clearly just stepped up the gear, starting to play 1 and 2 touch and looking really to get behind the Aston Villa defence and make things happen. But you can see equally Aston Villa, they're trying to get as tight as possible in midfield and allow them to play across the field and try and get men out, snapping at their heels to nullify those attacks.
It's a great ball into Alan Wright if he can deliver a good cross here. Collymore, Dwight Yorke. Still Yorke, forced away from goal and the chance has gone. Remember, an away goal for Aston Villa would make it so hard for Bordeaux in the return leg at Villa Park in a fortnight's time. Wiltord. Oh, fabulous save by Bosnich. He needed every last inch of his there to divert the ball for a corner kick.
Yes, that was wonderful play, wasn't it? I mean, he runs 25 yards with the ball, and really Bosnich, not been really called upon much in the first half, makes a super save, and it's really classic end-to-end counter-attacking stuff, really.
And both sets of supporters are really enjoying this one. Papin with a corner kick. Over the head of Laslandes. Wiltord will pick it up here and try and initiate another Bordeaux raid. In towards Papin. Oh, great header away by Southgate. Back in by Saveljić and Bordeaux are offside. Have Villa been lucky or have they defended well?
Combination of both. There have been 1 or 2 good opportunities, gilt-edged in fact for Bordeaux, but we need an element of fortune as well. Aston Villa has certainly got that. But at the same time, I mean, this was the tees it up nicely. And it goes right through the heart of the Villa defence, and that's an outstanding save by Bosnich. So early in the second half as well. But Villa's got to settle because clearly, Gary, there's vulnerability as well. Bordeaux have shown when coming forward they're susceptible to the counter-attack, and Villa has broken pace as well, and it's all come from Steve Staunton again. His long-range passing has been excellent.
Villa have stood firm for 50 minutes. They have a long way to go. There's Laslandes. That's an awful lot of time on the ball, and he gets it as well. Here's Wiltord. Pavon. Laslandes. Southgate stepping out of defence now. Collymore. Southgate's made his way forward. And out here, Luccin. Oh, there was a huge gap in that Villa defence because Southgate had stepped forward and Papin was unmarked.
Yes, and that clearly happens when you lose or concede defence in bad areas of the field, as what happened there. They do get men forward quickly and break.
Taylor now for Villa. He was wanting Wright to move forward. That option wasn't available to him. Dwight Yorke with a superb ball. Looking at Nelson. Collymore. Looks like Villa are going to make a switch very shortly with Sasa Curcic coming on. Wiltord. Musampa, Laslandes. Musampa! And the outside of the upright this time for Kiki Musampa. They're getting closer and closer.
Yes, and I feel Villa has got to get closer and closer, Gary, on their marking, because clearly they're backing off, allowing them space. And when you allow a player of Musampa's ability to get the ball down and pick his option, you're clearly asking for trouble.
That went right through the arms of Bosnich. I think that might have been a mistake by the Australian. Villa, meanwhile, have made a substitution. Simon Grayson has come off, and Sasa Curcic has come on for them. Play once again compressed inside the field. Here's Gralak. Great chip by Gralak. Oh, this time Bosnich not aware of the danger and comes outside his 6-yard box. Was that a mistake by Bosnich before?
Funny enough, it come through a lot of crowded bodies there, I felt. And he just took, you know, I think he was, his vision was obscured actually, and it was a bounce that was right in front of him.
What effect will that substitution have, bringing on Curcic for Grayson?
Well, I think what might happen is, I mean, Curcic for me is a player that is an offensive midfield player. One can break forward. I think Simon Grayson is more of a defensive type. He's worked extremely hard, but I just feel now.
Here's Nelson. Pavon, Nelson. Ehiogu. A bit of menace here for Villa. Ehiogu's cross, looking for Collymore. Saveljić. Comes off the back of Van Rijt's head. And all the way through to Southgate. You were saying, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, Curcic for me is more of a player. I mean, he works extremely hard, but he can get forward and break forward. And I feel the way with Villa in possession, if they can break forward and get a bit more support to the front men, then I feel they can ask questions.
Dwight Yorke trying to pick out Curcic. And you're right, Curcic has been told to try break into the Bordeaux half of the field and cause the French team 1 or 2 problems. Because at the moment, Ramé and that goal is vastly underemployed. Staunton is the back marker for Villa. Collymore. Saveljić. Pavon. Luccin. Forward towards Musampa. Good goalkeeping by Bosnich. All options here to Villa's left. Draper. Staunton knew it was a hospital ball, wasn't it? And Staunton skipped round. Wiltord and delivers the cross. Looking for Collymore. This is Stan Collymore. Great save by Ramé. Stan Collymore close to a precious away goal for Aston Villa.
Yes, and that was excellent play by their skipper, Steve Staunton. When I was talking about right in the first half, he's so congested in the middle of midfield, Gary. You want him to get forward, get wide, get balls in the box, and certainly Staunton does that. And Collymore, first touch was good, goes away. Quite get a good contact, but somehow manages to keep and makes a good save.
Curcic shorts away by the Bordeaux defence. I think that is probably Aston Villa's best opportunity of the game so far. Staunton. And brought down by Taylor. And this is Dwight Yorke. Gareth Southgate. Ball by Southgate. And Dwight Yorke wins it back in midfield for Villa. Taylor. Curcic. Yorke. It's interesting that since Curcic has come on, Villa have begun to emerge as an attacking threat.
Well, what he's actually done, Gary, he breaks and runs into midfield, and Bordeaux have to track him. What that does, that leaves space. And obviously Villa's got the quality, they can use space. And now, you know, as the game's going on, Villa's getting more comfortable, enjoying more possession. And clearly, when going forward, they look a dangerous team.
Push on Laslandes by Ugo Ehiogu. He scored over the free kick. Put your money on the table now, Paul. Can Villa hold out?
Yes, they can.
There you go. There's your answer, definitive.
And I still feel they can nick one as well, because the longer the game goes on, Bordeaux's going to get frustrated, throw a lot of men forward, and Villa have proved so far how quick they can break.
Saveljić. Pavon. Papin. Wiltord. Laslandes. Musampa trying to win it. Papin! His quicksilver reflexes make him still one of the most dangerous marksmen in Europe.
Yes, and that started from Wiltord again. He dribbled in, it was a little ricochet. Musampa gets caught underneath his feet, and it falls kindly to Papin, and he just lifts it over the bar.
Papin. Ball stolen off him by Yorke. Good skill by Dwight Yorke, and a great ball to release. Sasa Curcic now for Aston Villa. He skipped inside two challenges. Curcic! Well, the referee's assistant says corner kick. What a break there by Curcic.
Yes, and Bordeaux clearly on the back foot now. It was a wonderful break, actually. It was good work by Dwight Yorke in the midfield, and that threaded pass released Curcic to go and do what he's good at, which is imposing himself on the opposition in the final third. And there was a touch there, even though a fortuitous one.
Curcic. Collymore tried to win the ball. Cleared as far as Steve Staunton. That's a superb ball. Curcic is inside the box. His initial control wasn't that effective, and the danger's gone.
Yes, and again, as I've repeated before, that's come from Staunton. I mean, his range of passing, his repertoire, Gary, really is his diagonal passing from left to right and right to left has been of the highest order.
Musampa now for Bordeaux. Foul by Staunton. He has to be cautious now because he's on one yellow card. Oh, he was just stretching for that.
It's a good challenge. And really, I think it's Papin. In actual fact, I think he goes down in installments there, because the way he fell to the ground, in my view, wasn't consistent with the type of challenge he received.
Villa have everybody bar Stan Collymore behind the ball. Now gone. Still no way through. Luccin charged down. Luccin. Laslandes was the intended recipient of the ball. Collymore, drew that challenge superbly there. Got away from Saveljić. Tried to pick out Dwight Yorke. And there's a little bit of menace now about Aston Villa when they drive forward on the counter-attack.
Yes, they look very, very good indeed. Going forward with a lot of purpose, a lot of confidence, and some swift interplay and good passing. And really, you know, Curcic as well has made all the difference since he's come on, because by breaking forward, he releases that extra man. And Dwight will really, what he's actually doing now, Gary, is occupying that hole just behind the front two. They've put Curcic far more forward.
Collymore waits for the cross. Ramé's got it. It was a real gift for Ramé. And now Wiltord having a bit of a duel with Gareth Southgate. And Southgate's did ever so well defensively. Gareth Southgate, the new captain of Aston Villa since Andy Townsend has left the club. Middlesbrough. Here's Papin. I think that might have taken a deflection.
But the positive thing about that situation with Papin, Villa at that point, they had 7 men behind the ball. And that, I mean, Little will be delighted with that, because if they can force them to hit shots from long range, they've done their job.
Jean-Pierre Papin was quoted as saying he would settle for a 2-0 victory for Bordeaux in this match. Slightly optimistic outlook at this stage of the game. Who knows? Staunton given away to Pavon. Foul by Musampa on Taylor.
To me, Gary, poor decision there. I mean, Villa had good possession, actually, and that was a perfect opportunity for them to break, as I have done, and the referee, unfortunately, I mean, if he'd done before and dealt with the player after the event.
Collymore. Stan Collymore. Curcic. Collymore. Pavon. Musampa. Luccin. Wiltord. That's inside right. Laslandes. Musampa's through. Oh, great challenge by Southgate. Forcing the ball for a corner and damping down that Bordeaux attack.
Yeah, wonderful defensive play by Southgate. The lesser defender actually would have been drawn towards the ball. But he looks at the man, and I was a little bit worried because he was the last man in keeping him on side.
Papin with a corner. Saveljić got his head to the ball, and Taylor, that half clearance. Curcic hacks the ball to safety. Papin to Laslandes. Here's Laslandes. Oh. Well, those terrific balls in, and Laslandes unable to control it effectively. Laslandes, Musampa in support. Grenet, Musampa. Pavon. Laslandes, Pavon. Away by right. This is good defending by Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's great defending. What they're doing very well, Gary, they're defending as a unit. You know, they're staying on their feet, keeping their eyes on the ball, not jumping on their backsides and giving away needless free kicks. They've just got to keep concentrating and stay disciplined.
This is a stern examination of the Villa defence that they'll have had this season. And they've got a chance to break now with Curcic. Look at this run. No foul. Papin. Here is Wiltord. He's got space for the shot. Game off Staunton, away by Nelson. Curcic, who has made a significant difference to Aston Villa since coming on as a substitute. Right, Collymore to his left. Curcic, Draper, Dwight Yorke. Right now. Oh, he tried to pick out Collymore. What a good move.
That was outstanding play. I'm sure Brian and Little will be delighted with that. They soaked up the pressure, they're passing, they're moving, they're getting the ball wide, they're getting it in the box. That's superb play. Great confidence as well. It's just that ball in there. somebody just to get across in that classic near post area and just apply a finish.
We've reached the midway point of the second half. And Villa's defence, which was bound to be tested by Bordeaux, has done well so far. Lalonde and Papin, Musampa waiting inside the box. Staunton got it clear. Back in by Saveljić. This is Saveljić, who's won 12 caps for Yugoslavia. Collymore. Right. And this is Steve Staunton. Dwight Yorke. Nelson. Another positive attack here by Villa.
At this stage of the game, now the same space that Bordeaux were getting in the first half, where Villa allowed them in midfield. It's a bit of a role reversal now, where Villa's enjoying lots of possession, particularly in the midfield area, and they're certainly demonstrating the quality to make that count. And they're getting a bit tired now, the legs of Bordeaux, because you can't keep up that pace for the whole of the game.
What would Villa give now for an away goal? Certainly Collymore might be the man to bring that priceless away goal. And Villa have had a handful of chances. Draper. Villa won't be rushed into giving the ball away. Collymore staying onside. Corner. Groans of disbelief from the terracing close to that corner flag, because they felt Stan Collymore got the final touch. Maybe the slow motion replay will tell us more. I'm not sure it does. Collymore and Yorke remain Villa's greatest hope of a goal. Laslandes missed the header. Nelson. Nelson with a cross, slightly overhits. Ramé, what's he doing? Dwight Yorke. The goalkeeper was perfectly positioned, purely by chance.
Yes, we spoke about that, about the goalkeeper, didn't we? His vulnerability on crosses, and that's clearly demonstrated.
Papin. Kiki Musampa. Wiltord will try stay on. Papin takes over. Wiltord, Papin. Still Papin! Well, it needed to be angled either side of Bosnich. I think the Australian goalkeeper would have been disappointed had that gone past him. Handball against Luccin.
Yes, that was a super effort, wasn't it? I mean, Papa, a lot of his play for the last 15 minutes, in my opinion, Gary, has been a lot outside the box. And that's the first time he's got it, he's done something, he's made it happen. It was a super effort, and Bosnich does his job, stays on his feet and gets his body in the way.
I just wonder whether Bordeaux will make a substitution soon, because I don't think a 0-0 scoreline will suit them to go back to Villa Park in a fortnight's time. I'm sure they would want a goal. And they almost had one here through Papin. Exchange. That was a foul. Pavon limps away as Villa take the throw. Staunton. Again, there was a mix-up between defender and goalkeeper because both went for the same ball. Didn't come to much in the end. Ramé was there, and so too was his defender, Saveljić. Grenet. Oh, he's done well here. Papin again, corner.
Yeah, great defending, great collective defending. Period of sustained pressure a little bit now from Bordeaux. But the one thing about that cross with Grenet, I mean, he delivered the ball in the box carrier. There was only 2 Bordeaux players in there and 7 Villa defenders.
Ramé is coming off. It's involvement in the game. I think it looks like Ferrier is coming on. That's that ball by Papin again. Romain Ferrier on then for Bordeaux. As Papin takes the corner. Another fortunate deflection gives Bosnich the ball in his gloves. Right now for Aston Villa. Beginning to close on a very good away performance. Collimore's given the ball away a lot for Aston Villa. So Bordeaux, but a couple of times Collimore's made unforced errors, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, at times when Bordeaux's had a period of sustained pressure, it gets to the front man. You need it to hold him up, hold the get midfield men to support him, and unfortunately once or twice Stan has lost concentration on his first touch. And Bordeaux have taken the initiative, but not so far has there been any real end product from that.
Luccin, Musampa, Ferrier, Pavon calling for the ball. Once again, Villa have 10 players behind the ball now. Pavon, Laslandes, Musampa. There really is a they shall not pass attitude in this Aston Villa team. Afanou, Saveljić, wasn't a great delivery by Saveljić. Nelson was being held back, so it's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa. Staunton, whose delivery has been impeccable, picking out Right looking for Collimore. Dwight Yorke quickly there to pick up the rebound. Draper, Curcic, just bounced off Afanou. Luccin, good run by him. Run back by Curcic. Collimore. Bordeaux trying to keep up the tempo of their attacks. It's becoming increasingly difficult for them. Every sprint now must feel like a marathon. Concentration is lapsing. Ferrier with a very disappointing cross.
Yes, and to be quite frank, Villa's collective defending has been magnificent. I just hope they can weather the storm, keep focusing, keep concentrating. But when it does get forward, I think we spoke about Collimore before. We need him just to hold that ball up and give him time.
Pavon driving forward now for Bordeaux. Wiltord, Lalonde calling for it. almost in though. Ehiogu somehow almost dragged the ball behind him. There's still plenty of menace in this Bordeaux attack. Make no mistake. Great clearance.
That's great defending. I mean, Villa are actually enjoying the defending now. And they were very lucky because the natural fact was a deflection off Gareth Southgate that run fortuitously to Papin.
Luccin. Draper couldn't win it. Laslandes. Oh, that's a great tackle by Ian Taylor. Curcic with a wonderful dummy. It's 2 against 2 at the moment. Forward towards Collymore. Into Taylor. Taylor with a shot and driven straight at Ramé.
That's great play. Great play. Great team play. Breaking from the back. Getting really, you know, Curcic has been an inspired substitution. And in my view, he's really been the catalyst to the revival of Aston Villa, getting forward and making things happen.
Musampa. Ferrier. Papin waiting for the cross. So too is Laslandes. Ferrier again. Away by Staunton. Picked up by Pavon. Musampa. Ferrier. Wiltord. Oh, that's... How many times have we said it? Superb defending by the Midlands club. And here they come, breaking out on the counter-attack with Stan Collymore. Nelson. Makes the most of that mistake. Ferrier. Curcic. Rebounds to Southgate. There's some big clubs still left in this competition. Some big European nights for Aston Villa if they can progress. In Britain, of course, Rangers, Celtic, Liverpool, Arsenal and Leicester. Further afield, the likes of Anderlecht and Ajax and Lazio and Spartak Moscow and Sampdoria and Inter and Atletico. And here's Collymore looking for a goal, but he was offside.
Great individual score again by Curcic. Broke forward well, does his trick, put the final ball into Collymore, offside. But he's been simply magnificent since he's come on. There does a trick.
Well, there's been quite a debate raging at Aston Villa. Curcic or Draper should occupy that midfield role. Curcic has got very, very frustrated over the last 18 months and has wanted to leave the club. He's off the transfer list now and pledged his future to Aston Villa, which is a marvellous thing for the club, especially if he can reproduce the sort of performances that he's shown tonight. Laslandes. By Nelson. Foul by Collymore. Eyes of Bordeaux ring around the Parc Lescure. 20,000 in here for this UEFA Cup first round, first leg tie. More polish about Aston Villa's performance in this second half. Although they could be caught out here. Papin ran into Gareth Southgate. And there could be problems for Bordeaux, who continue to throw players forward as they seek the opening goal of the game. Collymore now, right arriving to his left. Dwight Yorke. Smashing ball to pick out Nelson. Collymore. Yorke! Oh dear. Dwight Yorke, who has scored a couple of goals this season, well off target as he attempted number 3. Great setup there by Stan Collymore.
Yeah, he goes high, but there's probably been one slight blemish. They've got them such great positions, and I just feel their shooting distance hasn't really been consistent with the quality of the build-up play that we've seen tonight.
Gralak. Pavon. Tempo of the game's been very, very good indeed, hasn't it? Hardly let up at all in the action. Bordeaux consistently tried to seek a gap in the Aston Villa defence. Villa happy to play on the counter thrust. Musampa, Ferrier, and Ferrier again. Pavon, Musampa.
That was magnificent defending in by Ehiogu. Strangely enough, I mean, what they've done so well, they've harassed them in the middle of the field. And even when they've got wide, they've got man out, they've got cover, they're just throwing them bodies into every single thing. And they're just defending totally with their lives. And it's, you know, it's a privilege for us to be here and watch such quality defending. And when they're getting forward, they're going with so much purpose.
Papin. Well, the thought crosses my mind that if the FA wanted to publish a video on how to defend away from home in a European tie, coaches could do a lot worse than to look at this game.
Yes, and if you look at a lot of English clubs in Europe, that's always been one of the biggest problems, isn't it? How do they defend away from home? And they've done it with admirable fashion. And Steve Staunton has been just out of this world.
Papin's thrown the towel in. He's off. Double set here. Diawara is on, and also Diabaté. Diawara and Diabaté on. Papin has gone off. I think Luccin has also left the field. Bordeaux have played their last card. They've made their 3 permitted substitutions now. And this is Wiltord. Wiltord once again. 18 is Diabaté. Afanou, Pavon. Villa have 5 minutes to stand firm and register a very, very good performance in European competition. Wiltord, Ferrier. Ehiogu will thump the ball to safety. Try to pick out Stan Collymore. Good control by Collymore. Right. Official crowd tonight just short of 17,000. And they've seen an intriguing game.
Though, which is brilliant. I mean, Ehiogu defended with his life, brought it down his chest, had a long ball out of defence, went to the front man. They've kept the ball for over 12 passes, and to do that at such a late stage in the game demonstrates their quality and their confidence.
Laslandes. Afanou. Wiltord. Still Wiltord. Musampa, another great tackle by Aston Villa. Well, for any criticisms we might have made for Aston Villa, they are minor ones indeed, because they have fought to a man tonight to keep the score at 0-0 and give themselves a very good chance of progressing into the second round if they can beat Bordeaux at Villa Park in 2 weeks' time. And Curcic weaves a path to goal here. Diawara made a run, but just for the moment, Bordeaux remind me of a young child throwing paper darts into a very strong wind. Every time they head towards the Villa goal, they are repelled. Laslandes. A scoreline like this, Paul, should ensure Villa Park in a fortnight's time.
Yes, I'm sure it will. I mean, it could be one of those great European nights, isn't it? Back to the good old days of Aston Villa back in the 80s.
That marvellous night against Inter a few years back, when Ron Atkinson was the manager of Aston Villa. Pavon. Wiltord. Musampa. Taylor can't win it. Yorke tries to. Still Wiltord, no foul. Diawara struck Staunton and rebounds to Curcic. Pavon. Time is almost up. Laslandes. It came off Southgate, and it's through into the hands of Bosnich. Collymore. The definitive away performance in Europe is almost complete. The final chapter is just being finished off. Curcic. 3 against 2 in Bordeaux's favour. And that will waste a few more seconds in Villa's favour. He hasn't played a whole game, but Curcic would be my man of the man.
Without any doubt. Also, I think Staunton, I think his range of passing, his defending, his leadership qualities, he led by example, and really, he's been so articulate and graceful on the ball. His range of passing has been really the catalyst to Villa's best attacking play. But they're all heroes, to be quite honest with you, Gary.
Draper. Corner. Well, this would be a terrific final gloss for Villa on a very competent performance if they could just sneak a goal. Nelson. They're not going to score one like that, and Villa were offside anyway.
As we think. I mean, I can't remember an English side playing so well away from home in Europe like this. They played, you know, they weathered the early storm, which was clearly going to be there. Bordeaux took the initiative, but as the game's gone on in the second half, they've just totally dominated their territorial advantage, made it to good use, while Bordeaux just become very predictable.
But here, Laslandes, he handled the ball. Surely the referee spotted that. Goodness me, he's missed it. He nearly caught it.
Position that he obviously thought it was a gridiron forward.
It was like Australian rules football. He carried the ball in his arms. Oh, there's going to be a lot of unhappy Villa players if they profit from this corner. We're deep in stoppage time at the end of the game. Still scoreless. Laslandes. And away by Dwight Yorke. Bordeaux need to be in a hurry to take this corner kick. Villa are within touching distance of a terrific result here in Bordeaux. Musampa, and got clear by the Villa defence once again. We've played nearly 3 minutes of stoppage time. Ferrier. Taylor got his head to the ball. And hooked clear eventually by Nelson. And here goes Collymore. Shakes off Pavon. What a great ball to Curcic. And that's it. Villa have survived. You can hear what the locals think about their team. They're very disappointed. Papin just couldn't find a way through, and nor could his teammates. It wasn't a vintage performance in Bordeaux, but it was a very good one by Aston Villa. The final score in this first leg, Bordeaux 0, Aston Villa 0.
Welcome back. Aston Villa then have drawn 0-0 in France. This is manager Brian Little's verdict.
It's a good performance, you know, and they're a bright side, and it was a difficult game, and yet we've come through it well, and both sides will be expecting a difficult game in 2 weeks' time, but we're very pleased with our performance, and they won't rule themselves out. There's still a lot to play for.
Now, obviously, a lot of Villa fans will be watching this match on television. What's your message to them about the return in a fortnight's time?
Well, the important thing is that, you know, we've got a chance, and I know, you know, even in the first 4 games when there was a fair bit of criticism around, you know, from all sorts of different sections, the crowd were very good, and I think they believed we could get it right. We're starting to turn a little bit of a corner. Hopefully we can turn around a little bit further in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm sure they'll be there supporting us.
It's going to be a smashing night, isn't it?
Well, that's what we wanted, you know, to fill the ground and to have a good atmosphere and hopefully play well and win.
Aston Villa manager Brian Little. With me in the studio, Graham Lasseau and Gavin Peacock. Graham, what was your view on that game?
A very solid performance by Villa. They've gone there and done an excellent job. They've defended very well as a team, worked very hard for each other. And, you know, they played well against a very flamboyant Bordeaux side.
Gavin, it's set up nicely for the second leg. I think full house at Villa Park.
Oh, certainly, yes. And I'm sure Brian Little, although he'll be very pleased with tonight's performance, because that's what you've got to do away from home. When he gets to their place, he'll be looking for those front men to really spark, and possibly the key could be playing Curcic, because when he came on, he really did set things going for them.
Most of the chances fell to Bordeaux. Let's have a look at some of the chances in that second half, starting with a very early chance for Wiltord. Gavin, yes, good save here.
I thought, yeah, it was a terrific save from Bosnich. You know, he hadn't had a great deal to do, but he was lively, alert. He got down to it, bounced in front of him, which was difficult. But I thought that Wiltord was a danger man, and he had to be on his toes for that one. It was a good save.
And Mark Bosnich drink French wine, hasn't done for a couple of years, or eat French cheese because of the nuclear testing in the Pacific that he doesn't agree with, as a lot of Australians don't. And they won't be happy with him, the French, tonight, will they? Because he's kept Villa in that game. He's
done very well, yes. And you know, you need your back 3, 4 players to be playing well, but then you need your goalkeeper. When he pulls off saves like that, it gives everyone confidence.
Yeah, we were all impressed with Bosnich tonight. What about Stan Collymore? He had really just the one chance to score in the game, Graham.
Yeah, that's right. He was marked pretty tightly, I think, throughout the game. But this was the one chance he got away. A great ball by Steve Staunton, one of many. And he was just a little bit unfortunate there. His touch took him away from goal, which meant he was stretching. But he hit the target. The goalkeeper was falling away and actually made a good save from it. As you can see, a fantastic ball by Staunton. Splits the defence. And you can see he's just stretching slightly, but almost scored. It was unfortunate. That would have been a fantastic goal for Villa to have scored at that stage in the game.
And Papin, who we saw swap shirts with Collymore at the end there, a couple of good chances. He put one over the bar, and then shortly afterwards, another good save from Mark Bosnich. Papin perhaps might have scored from this one.
Yes, he could have. It was good skill from Papin. He nutmegged, I think it was Staunton there, and he's got a good hard strike. But it was a good angle for, I mean, Bosnich has done well, he's got his angles right, and he stopped it well. If Papin had been able to pull it into the far corner, obviously, he'd have had no chance. But we saw a little bit of Papin's quality coming out, but he could have got forward maybe a little bit more, played in and around the box. They look a dangerous side, Bordeaux, and I think they can adapt to playing away from home as easy as playing at home.
Seemed to me, Graham, as though Villa had really done their homework this time, because last time they went out, they drew both the games against Helsingborg and went out on the away goals rule, and they were determined to be really professional and really tight, and they achieved that tonight. They
were desperate to come away with a clean sheet. They all worked very hard for each other. Dwight Yorke worked extremely hard, tracking back, and every player got themselves behind the ball, blocking, and you know, they look determined to do well.
Now, Chelsea in action, your team on Thursday night. Sadly, you're not playing because of your little scrap with David Batty from your Blackburn days. It seems mad that you can't play because, you know, you weren't even booked in that instant, and it's the FA that reported you to UEFA.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, it's something I don't sort of try not to talk about anymore because it's 2 years ago now. I think I've hopefully shrugged that one off now, as David has as well. But for us on Thursday, it's a bit of an unknown quantity playing against a Slovakian team, which will bring a lot of quality with them. They finished third in their league, and I think they're going to be a tough team to play against. They'll be looking for a clean sheet and then hopefully beating us over there. But you know, we're up for it. We're playing well at the moment, and as long as the lads concentrate and stay focused, we'll do well.
And briefly, Gavin, do you still look out for Chelsea's result?
Oh, certainly. I think they'll do very well in Europe this year. 3 years ago, when I played for Chelsea in Europe, semi-final, I believe they can go a step further and possibly win it. I don't want to put a hex on it or anything like that, but I'm sure they can do it. They've got the players.
Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight, Gavin Peacock and Graham, and good luck for your boys on Thursday and also in the away leg.
Thank you.
And of course you can see Graham, Vialli, Zola, Di Matteo and all of Chelsea's stars live and exclusive on Channel 5 on Thursday night. They're launching their bid for European Cup Winners' Cup glory against Slovan Bratislava at Stamford Bridge. That's starting at 7:30, only on 5. Now, if you want to comment on tonight's action, you can call Dominic Diamond, Shelley Webb and their guest Tommy Docherty on Live and Dangerous tonight. The number's 0990 200 655. The line's open when the programme starts at 12:15 tonight on Channel 5. Well, it's been mixed news for English clubs after Arsenal went down 1-0 against PAOK Salon, while Aston Villa held Bordeaux to a scoreless draw in France. Goodbye.